Breaking news, this is a steal for the Cowboys as they have officially signed James Houston, a pass rusher who spent time with the Lions and Browns. We also got some injury updates on Trevon Diggs. We give you the latest Cowboys news right here on Cowboys Digest. Welcome everybody, I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning into the show as always. And let's go right into the report from Ian Rappaport, who says the Cowboys have signed former Browns and Lions defensive end James Houston, while also placing cornerback Trevon Diggs and linebacker Demarion Overshown on PUP. And of course, rookie quarterback Siobhan Revel Jr. was placed on the non-football injury list as well. Now, before I get too far into this and talk about the signing and injuries, this is exactly why you subscribe. You see, when breaking news happens, we get it out to you first here on Cowboys Digest, and yet 86.4% of you are missing out on the latest news, information, and updates regarding your Dallas Cowboys. So if you are part of that 86.4% that watch these videos and are not yet subscribed, well, today is your day, my friend. Go down there and hit that subscribe button. We first talk about James Houston. Now, if you missed a video we did about a couple days ago, he was actually a part of a tryout that the Dallas Cowboys had for 3 different pass rushers. In my video, I said that James Houston was the most likely to get a job with the Cowboys, and here we are where they did end up signing him. I believe the other 2 were Jesse Luketa and Cameron Klein. Those 2 obviously not making the roster. James Houston, though, getting drafted in the 6th round in 2022 by the Detroit Lions. He does get the nod and signs with the Dallas Cowboys officially. Now, does this mean he's going to make the 53-man roster? Absolutely not, but it does mean the Cowboys want to see more of him. And why not? A guy who started his NFL career just 3 years ago and had a very solid rookie season, accumulating 8 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 12 tackles, most of those being a tackle for loss. It's a lot of upside there. However, the past 2 seasons just have not been good. There's been just situations he's run into, only playing in 2 games in 2023 and only 8 games in this past season with the Lions in 2024. He had 5 solo tackles this past year and 1 sack, but it was not enough for the Lions to keep him. He did sign for a small time with the Cleveland Browns. However, he never appeared in a game with them. And now the Dallas Cowboys, they're going to throw a feeler out there and see if James Houston can help them out in any way possible. Now, Houston, for a lot of different reasons, does fit this team because the defensive edge rush room is in a very interesting position as he joins a group of Dante Fowler Jr., Micah Parsons, and we know the deal with him, Sam Williams, Marshawn Kneeland, Donovan Ezeraku, Peyton Turner. And I think what really stands out to me is if they are going to make this move to sign James Houston, I feel like that is almost a death sentence for Peyton Turner. Like, it doesn't feel like they have a lot of confidence in him to make the roster if they're willing to go out there and try and find a different type of pass rusher to just have a look at during a training camp. Now, this is definitely going to be cut down a significant amount. I would be shocked if they kept more than 5 people on the defensive edge rush position. Right now, we could see a guy on a practice squad, which is where I think the battle will come in between James Houston, Peyton Turner, and the rest of the bunch that we see on this depth chart at the current time. It's an interesting situation, but James Houston does have a path to make this team, at least on a practice squad basis. I find it a little bit harder for him to make on a different, actually on the roster, but he could always surprise somebody, and we don't exactly know because we haven't seen him yet in training camp, and now we're going to get him in a full-blown training camp for the Dallas Cowboys where we're going to get videos, news, information, and talks from the coaches. Let's look at James Houston PFF rankings because they are not pretty. His overall PFF grade is a 46 last year. That ranked 191st out of 211 edge rushers. His pass rush grade is good, though. 137 out of 211 edge rushers is definitely good enough to play on an NFL roster. And then his run defense grade was not good, hence why the overall grade was not the greatest, but I think the reason the Cowboys make this move is simply because of the pass rush grade, because you talk about the way this team is going to handle their edge rushers and the way that they've handled it for, honestly, the past couple years, it is going to be pass rush situations. Obviously, run blocking, or rather run defense, it is an important part to this team, but if we look again back at the defensive edge rushers, these are a lot of guys that are going to rush the quarterback. They're going to be guys to try and get tackles in the backfield. They're very quick. They're very agile. I look at Micah Parsons. I look at Dante Fowler Jr., and I look at Donovan Ezraku as guys who are going to use their spin move, use their agility to get in the backfield and ultimately take down the quarterback. Now, yes, that does apply to running backs too, but a lot of times that's going to be a little bit more toward the little tackle positions on the defensive line, which kind of funny enough, somewhat more of a need for me would be on the defensive tackle, but I think in some ways the defensive line as a whole is not something to worry about at all for the Dallas Cowboys, but it is something the Cowboys are aware of, and obviously they're making moves, at least on the edge rusher side of things, as they sign James Houston. Now, I do want to talk more about the injuries as well, because I do want to try and get some clarification so you're not a little bit confused on this. So, obviously, the Dallas Cowboys did sign James Houston, and they released defensive end Villan. So, if you look back at the roster here, you can see that number 4 slot on the left defensive ends position, he was actually released. And then from that, they also placed on the PUP list quarterback Josh Butler, cornerback Trevon Diggs, linebacker DeMarion Overshown, and quarterback Trevon Revel Jr. We'll start first with the PUP list and the 2 guys on there, and I'll start by saying this. This does not mean whatsoever that these guys are not going to be on the 53-man roster ready to play, because you can be placed on the PUP list right now, but as soon as they play in a preseason game, they'll be playing. Now, rehab assignments are underway, and they could very easily both Overshown and Trevon Diggs be ready for week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday Night Football to open the NFL season. But what this means is that rehab is still going through, and it just allows for them to, be a part of team activities without really, being a whole part of it. So that's a huge thing there. And then Trevon Revel Jr., kind of a similar thing there with what he was placed on the non-football injury list. Again, does not mean he will not be ready for week 1. If they stay on this list, they're all going to have to miss 4 games to start the season. So the hope is that by the time training camp is over, or even by preseason, if they're playing, they will not be on that list, because as soon as you play 1 preseason game, you are immediately removed from the PUP list. Now, a big thing with Trevon Revel Jr., what are you talking about non-football injury? Did he get injured again? No, non-football injury just states that it was an injury away from the team. So, for instance, if you get hurt in a biking accident or whatever, but also what acquires or what qualifies for that is college football injuries. And we know Trevon Revel Jr. tore his ACL in college, so that is why it's an NFI list rather than the PUP list, because his injury technically came in college when he was away from the team. Yes, it was a football-related activity, but it was not with the Dallas Cowboys. It was with Eastern Carolina, where he played his college ball. And again, quarterbacks were the big name on that list. And I've mentioned time and time again that maybe signing a quarterback would be a good idea, and now it kind of seems like it'd be a very good idea given Trevon Diggs, Trevon Revel Jr., your cornerbacks on that left side, are both now injured at this current time. Now, you also have Kyer Elam, Kalen Carson, and we all know we all know they're going to be fine with Deron Bland as well, but I still look at this cornerback room and see needs. I see them needing a little bit more, especially if even just one of those 3 guys on the cornerback PUP list or NFI list do not make the roster in time and have to stay on that injured list. So that is a big thing that I truly think the Cowboys should address, whether it's signing Stephon Gilmore or going out and getting Asante Samuel Jr., just somebody to go out and help this cornerback room, because it's definitely at an injured position right now. Now, Trevon Revel Jr. is a very good football player, and if he is healthy, I trust him wholeheartedly to immediately step in and play as a starting role if need be. You look at his time at Eastern Carolina University, and of course, the year we look at is 2023, when he had 55 total tackles played in the entire season, 30 of those solo, 1 sack, 1 interception, and his grades across the board were first-round level talent. That's what people were talking about with Trevon Revel Jr. Now, he dropped to the 3rd round because of his ACL injury, and really more, you don't know what he's going to come back with, what he's going to look like after an ACL injury, but also there's a chance where he doesn't play in the first game of the year or even the first 4 games of the season. There was an original report that he suffered a setback that was found out to be not true, so the hope is Trevon Revel Jr. will be ready for week 1. I would honestly be more looking at him And then Trevon Diggs, every report we've gotten about Trevon is that he will be ready for that week 1 bout against the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's the hope, but we don't know officially for sure. And now them being officially placed on the PUP and NFI list make it a little bit more concerning just because we're getting close to preseason. We're getting close to regular season action, and you want to see them healthy as quick as possible. Now, nothing has changed, but it is just something to keep an eye on for sure. James Houston has officially signed, and that is the big news of the day. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section about this signing. Is this a guy you could see making the 53-man roster? Do you believe in this guy to make even the practice squad, or you think this is a nothing signing and maybe it's just somebody who signs now and by the end of training camp he's off the team? Let me know down in the comments section. But for now, that's all we got for you here on Cowboys Digest. As always, we appreciate you watching. If you are here to the end and you are part of the 86.4% watching that have not yet subscribed, well, do me a favor, go down there and hit that subscribe button because you made it to the end of the video, so you obviously like the content. We'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest, everybody. I appreciate you watching. Peace out.